At it again. And, one thing that I've learned throughout this journey of discovering the truth is that whenever the establishment and Democrats panic about something, we're usually on the right track. The truth is usually the opposite of what they're saying. When they're out in the frenzy about something, we're on to something with that one, right? And now they are all freaking out since Matt Gaetz, dropped out, which, Matt Gaetz, you let me down. You let me down, Matt. I still like you, Matt. But gosh, Matt Gaetz would have been, boy, talk about bull in the China shop, man. But now that he is out of the way, the establishment and all these Democrats are coming out and going after Tulsi Gabbard because Trump nominated her to Director of National Intelligence, and they don't like it at all. And to me, that says she is the perfect pick. Because obviously, if Democrats like the pick, then we got some major issues. So yeah, we're going to get into that a little bit because it's just interesting to watch all of these Democrats and these establishment folks. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And it's like, okay, we made the right pick. So with that being said, let's dive in.
She's a critic of U.S. intelligence operations. She has promoted Russian propaganda. Your fellow Democrat, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, called her, quote, likely a Russian asset. Now, you and Tulsi Gabbard are both veterans. You served with her in the House. What do you think of her?
Well, I think she's compromised. I think by going to Syria and basically backing a brutal dictator there, Russian-controlled media called her a Russian asset. So I do think that we have a real deep concern whether or not she's a compromised person. And frankly, the U.S. Intelligence Committee, the U.S. intelligence community has identified her as having troubling relationships with America's foes. And so my worry is that she couldn't pass a background check.
Russian asset. It's always quite interesting when all of these Democrats come out and they all say the same thing. They all repeat the same lines. Okay. Now this clip, John Bolton. Yeah. When he's talking about somebody being a bad person, that's my reaction. This is just the right guy or just the right gal. And he just so happened to be super against Matt Gaetz and now Tulsi Gabbard.
I thought it was the worst cabinet level appointment in history until they then heard about the Matt Gaetz appointment. Really, my reaction was that this is like the legend of Caligula, the Roman emperor, who wanted to nominate his horse as a Roman consul. You had to be a Roman senator at the time to be a consul, and it was intended to show how demeaned and degraded the Roman Senate had become. So now we're going to see whether the American Senate can stand up and reject two people who are totally unqualified, unfit professionally, and really lacking in the moral characteristics, the character that you need to hold these jobs. I think this vote should be 100-0 against both of them.
You think it should be 100-0 on both of them? Interesting. So, what you're saying is Tulsi is the right gal. All right. Carry on.
All the time to get your perspective, of course, out there. I want to ask you about former Hawaii Democratic Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard to be Director of National Intelligence. You have a history with the former Congresswoman. What do you think of her being tapped to be Director of National Intelligence?
Tulsi Gabbard is someone who has met with war criminals, violated the Department of State's guidance, and secretly, clandestinely went to Syria and met with Assad, who gassed and attacked his own people with chemical weapons. She's considered to be essentially, by most assessments, a Russian asset, and would be the most.
Is that how you
dangerous...
consider her? Is that what you consider her?
Oh, yes. There's no question. I consider her someone who is likely a Russian asset, who would be as the DNI responsible for managing our entire intelligence community, hold all of our most significant intelligence information and secrets, and essentially would be a direct line to our enemies.
Oh, man. You got to love this stuff, man. You got to love it. Like, they really expect us to believe them at this point. To me, they've lost all credibility. All credibility. To the point where whatever they say, I do and believe the complete opposite at this point. Does anybody else feel that way? Like, when you got all these Democrats, all these, mainstream media, all these establishment folks, when they're all saying one thing, like, I just automatically do and believe the complete opposite. You know, if they're telling me to do one thing, I'm going to do the opposite. If they're telling me to believe one thing, I'm going to believe the complete opposite. Does anybody else feel that way? Let me know. Let me know.
His whole questions like Tulsi Gabbard does. You really want her to have all of the secrets of the United States and our defense intelligence agencies when she has so clearly been in Putin's pocket? That just has to be a hard no.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. We're on the right track, I guess. We're on the right track. But, the good news is we still do have some good people on our side of the political aisle that are putting in the good fight. And one of those folks is Senator Rick Scott, I believe out of Florida. Yeah, I believe out of Florida. Check it out.
I think we've got to do everything. Everything's got to be on the table to get Donald Trump nominees approved as quickly as possible. When Trump became president in January 2017, his nominees did not get through quickly. That has got to change. So either we've got to get them through the Senate, or if we need to do recess appointments, we should do recess appointments.
See, I like his style, man. I like his style. He's about business, getting it done by any means necessary. If that means recess appointments, then so be it. Let's bring on the recess appointments. All right, bring it on. Shout out to Senator Rick Scott, man. One of the good guys. Another good guy is Senator Eric Schmitt. Goodness gracious, I couldn't get that out. Eric Schmitt. Check him out.
Let's talk about the pick of Tulsi Gabbard for DNI. Here is what the former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley had to say about Tulsi Gabbard. Take a look.
This is not a place for a Russian, Iranian, Syrian, Chinese sympathizer. DNI has to analyze real threats. Are we comfortable with someone like that at the top of our national intelligence agencies?
So, Senator, what say you? Are you comfortable? Will you vote for Tulsi Gabbard?
I think it's really interesting that anybody that has a different political view now is being cast as a Russian asset. It's totally ridiculous. Tulsi Gabbard has served in our military. She served as a congresswoman from Hawaii, as a Democrat, I might add, part of this unique coalition that President Trump has put together and won and got that mandate. But I think it's insulting. It's a slur, quite frankly. There's no evidence that she's a asset of another country. She served this country honorably. And by the way, she cares deeply about our Constitution and civil liberties and making sure people aren't being targeted by these intelligence agencies. So again, I think this is a reformer who can come in, who maybe is not part of the same Washington cocktail party circuit that people in the intel community are used to, but maybe that's exactly what we need right now. President Trump listened to the American people when they screamed about these issues. They want to be heard. They feel like Washington's broken, and I think bringing somebody in like Tulsi Gabbard is a welcome news.
So you're a yes on Tulsi Gabbard, Senator, just to be clear?
I'm a yes on Pam Bondi. I'm a yes on Pete Hegseth. I'm a yes on Tulsi Gabbard. Absolutely.
I'm just saying. I love to hear it. I love to hear it, Eric Schmitt. Love to hear it. All right. And, he's speaking some facts when he said that it's interesting how anybody who comes out against these folks is now all of a sudden just a Russian asset. If you disagree with the establishment, if you disagree with the Democrats, then you're a Russian asset. You're automatically a Russian asset. And that's what mainstream media is continuing to run with. And that is why mainstream media is dying, which I'm happy to see.
You wouldn't rise to a rank of an 05 lieutenant colonel if our intelligence agencies thought that somehow she was some kind of Russian asset, which if people are going to level those charges, they better be darn sure that they're accurate. And is a very
Nikki
dangerous
Haley
thing
didn't
to
say
do.
that. She said that it was sympathizing.
But it's all insinuated, okay? It's this cutesy, hyperbolic nonsense coming out of the media and the Democrats who refuse to accept the fact that almost a majority of Americans have accepted Donald Trump and Trumpism. I think it's time to give this guy a month of peace and let the process play out.
I like the sound of that. And notice they didn't really have a whole lot to say. Congresswoman, goodness gracious, I can't think of her name. I'm drawing a blank on her name. The black chick that went at Marjorie Taylor Greene and it went viral. I can't even think of her name right now. But anyway, had nothing to say because he spoke facts. If she was truly an asset, she would have some issues being a high-ranking official in the military. So what are we talking about here? Of course, though, she goes against the agenda, so she's automatically an asset because she doesn't just go along to get along with the program, of course. But like I said, that tells me that she is the right pick. She's the right pick. I believe Matt Gaetz was the right pick as well. I hate the fact that he dropped out. You know, I wish he was still in the running. And I do believe he would have gotten confirmed one way or another. Even if Trump had to do a recess appointment, Matt Gaetz was going to be the AG. Okay, I firmly believe that. From the stories that I've been hearing, Trump was willing to go above and beyond to make sure that Matt Gaetz was confirmed. All right. Obviously, they were doing their due diligence, going to meet with a lot of senators and talk to them. I believe J.D. Vance went with them. And, Trump sat back for a reason, obviously, not to show his hand quite yet. But now we also know who the snakes are. The Lisa Murkowskis of the world, the Susan Collins, the Mitch McConnells, the John Curtises, okay, who are going to be primaried and voted out. And there's a lot of other folks, I believe Charlie Kirk talked about it. Tim Pool talked about it as well. Elon Musk talked about funding these people's primary opponents. So don't be discouraged, guys. Be encouraged. We will take back our Republican Party from the rhinos. It may take a little bit of time. Trump may not be able to do everything that, he wants to do in these next 4 years. But I do believe by 2028, most of the rhinos will be out. There'll only be a couple left. And even those that are left, they going to probably get with the program because they see all of the other rhinos got Liz Cheney'd. Okay. They got voted out in embarrassing numbers. But with embarrassing numbers. So, yeah, man. Be encouraged. Don't be discouraged. We still got rhinos, of course, but we'll get them out. Y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Do you think Tulsi Gabbard is the right choice like I do? Based upon, even if you just want to take everything else out of the equation, right? And you just want to look at Democrats and the establishment's reaction, do you think she's the right choice? I do. What do you say? Peace and love. I'm out.